Remember that plane in Die Hard 2? Which one was Die Hard 2? Oh right, the one at the airport that made no sense. I'm not going to get into why it makes no sense, but I will leave a link here of my dear friend and 747 pilot Kelsey explaining why. I don't actually know Kelsey. Anyway, remember the plane in it? Do I mean Holly's Lockheed L1011 TriStar 50? No. No, not that one either. Definitely not that one. No, that's not the one. Oh, wait, yes, that one. There we go. General Esperanza's transport plane. But what the heck is that thing anyway? Interestingly enough, there is no such plane in real life. It's a manifestation of Hollywood. Well, partially anyway. It started out as a Fairchild C-123 provider, a fairly unsuccessful Vietnam-era transport used mostly by Coast Guards. Only 300 or so were built. Certainly not cool enough for Die Hard, so they spiced it up a bit. What's cooler than 2 turboprops? Clearly 2 jets. What's cooler than 2 jets? 4 jets. And who wants gray when you can have camo? And there you have it. General Esperanza's plane is born. Here's a theory of my own. The scenes where it shows the plane landing are using models. I have a feeling that the switch to jets had more to do with it being much easier to model than spinning propellers. And the increase in badassery was a convenient coincidence. But that's just a guess. Anyway, since we're all aboard the speculation bus already, let's consider the mission this plane is on. It's flying from Val Verde, a fictional South American country, to Washington, D.C. South America is a big place, and all of it is pretty far from Washington, D.C. But this isn't Val Verde's theatric debut. We know someone else who went to Val Verde.
Because you're going to return to Val Verde?
At least he was supposed to go. He only made it to the end of the runway before jumping out the landing gear. That's right, Arnie was supposed to go to Val Verde in commando. We know he was traveling on a McDonnell Douglas DC-10-10. They travel about 470 knots, but we don't know how long the flight was supposed to be.
Excuse me, how long is the flight?
We land in Val Verde in exactly 11 hours.
Oh, thanks, Arnold. Incidentally, DC-10-10 only carries enough fuel for about 7.5 hours of flight, but that's not important. So 11 hours from Los Angeles at 470 knots lands us in this region, which is about 5,000 miles from DC. Our old friend, the C-123 provider, has a range of about half that. A jet will burn more fuel than a turboprop, but it will also travel faster. Our trusty speculation bus will allow us to cancel those 2 factors out and give a similar range, but we are feeding 4 instead of 2, so in the end, range is probably about half the normal range of a C-123. Which works out to about 1,600 miles, quite a bit short of the required 5,000. So that begs the question, why did this team of crack terrorists set up their extraction at the final destination in DC when they probably would have had a lot easier time at one of the 4 fuel stops he would have had to have made along the way? Probably wouldn't have been much of a movie though. That's the plane from Die Hard 2. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next.